welcome to our Post Intuit Connect App Academy. Excited that you're here. We have a great lineup of presenters today.
All right. So I guess I'll start, huh? So I'm with MakersHub. We're a fully automated AP system that uses advanced computer vision technology to actually upload your, not to upload, but when you upload your bills and when you send them into MakersHub, it will actually extract line item detail from the bills. And I'm going to go in and I'm going to show you a few as soon as I get my screen sharing. So I'm hoping you all can see the Landsfeed warehouse and the Pittsburgh air system. If you can, great. If you can't, somebody let me know. I always
we see it.
Awesome. Okay. So here's what we have. So this is our dashboard here. When you log in, you see your dashboard and you know exactly your bills to review, your receipts to review, any bills that you have to pay, anything outstanding. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go into this financial tab and we're going to take a look at a few bills here. The first one I'm going to look at, or the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to upload a bill that's kind of fun here. And this is a Home Depot bill. Okay. And this Home Depot bill is 68 pages long. It's one file, 68 pages, 63 different bills within there, and there's over 3,000 line items within that bill. I'm just going to drag it and I'm going to upload it into MakersHub. So we got it going. The next one I'm going to upload is this invoice sample, because this is like the bane of every CPA bookkeeper's existence here, is when your client sends you a bill or a file that has multiple bills in it. If we take a look at this one, it's got the Floral Supply Syndicate #1, Floral Supply Syndicate upside down #2. And then it's got a receipt that they stuffed in here, another receipt they stuffed, and then like this handwritten receipt. And then like these true receipts. So normally what you would have to do is probably put these into like Adobe, separate them out, print them out separately, print them to a file separately, and then upload them. But with MakersHub, all we have to do is I'm going to go in and I'm going to upload these bills. And as we go through, this is the Home Depot one. This is the one we already did. I'm going to go into this Pittsburgh air systems because this one was uploaded. And I'm just going to delete these because this is what I did on the last one. This one is uploaded. And as you see on the left-hand side, we have the bill. All right. Then on the right-hand side, we have everything that was extracted from the bill. All the line item detail. We have the ability to extract the SKU numbers, the quantity, and everything that's within this bill. We also have, and I'm just going to run the re-extraction because somebody deleted out something that made it not match. But we also have the ability now, because of the PO extraction that we did here. So we got the PO, we extracted it. We looked in QuickBooks. This is hooked up to online, but it works in desktop as well. We looked in there to say, okay, now, are there open purchase orders? Yes, there are. So I'm going to review this purchase order. I'm going to pull it up and I can see now, based on what I have my line item here in the quantity too. But what I can do is I can either do it manually, like I'm going to do here. And I can see that I ordered 2, only 1 was received. Or what I can do is I can just match it to the bill. So I can just pull in all of my purchase order items and match it directly to the bill. Where does that matter most is when we're looking at things like the price here. And let's just say for giggles that the price was a little bit higher. And I'm going to say that the price that came in from the bill was $86. Oh, $86. We're going to notify you that it's increased. Now this will go from green to yellow to red. So the higher the percentage it is of increased amount from what they charged me, the different color that's on here. But now, if we take a look at this, we have on back order, right? We ordered 2, we received 1. We ordered 9, we received 7. So as soon as I approve this bill, it's going to update not only the purchase order within QuickBooks, but it's also going to update the inventory as well that I have in QuickBooks with the inventory that's received. Now, if this was received 100%, it would close this out. But right now, what it's going to do is it's going to say, hey, I only received 1 and I only received 7. So the next time I pull this up, it's going to have a 1 here and it's going to have a 7 here. So we know exactly what was received, what wasn't received, and all that other good stuff. So now when I approve, I can just go through and approve that information. And it doesn't match because I messed around with the price quantity here. So it's saying that it's off. Now, the other thing that we do very, very
So Ted,
yeah,
let me ask you a quick question.
sure.
In that scenario, because you increased the cost for that item, when it adjusts inventory, is it going to adjust inventory by just the quantity, or is it going to also adjust inventory by virtue of the new cost?
It'll adjust it in virtue of the new cost as well.
Okay.
For the prices for the things that you ordered.
All right.
It's also like I said, gonna adjust all of this other stuff. Now we have a release coming out within the next month where we can create purchase orders in MakersHub as well and push them over to QuickBooks. So that's one of the newer things. So the other thing, any other questions on this one?
I don't think so.
Okay. The other thing that we can do, I'm going to unapprove this one, and I'm going to unapprove my approval here, and I'm going to send it back into the bills because I wanted to show you something really quickly. Let me delete the training. The other thing that we can do on here is train the system. So as you know, with legacy legacy AP products, if it gets it wrong, normally it's going to get it wrong every single time, correct? Like if it didn't scan the PO number, the next time I send this in, it's not going to scan it correctly. So let's take a look at this bill. And the weird thing about this bill is that it has a 4% order value discount, but nowhere on this bill does it show what that dollar amount is. It's a very strange bill because normally you would probably see like, the line items total $12,742. You would normally see a discount somewhere that says $509. This one doesn't. So again, in a traditional OCR product, you're going to have to make that adjustment every single time. With MakersHub, I know that this $509 that we're pointing out as the difference is the actual discount. So I can go in and I can say, all right, code this whenever this comes in from Belimo as discount. And so now whenever this bill comes in, it's going to code it as a discount, whatever that difference is. And it's also going to allow me to spread that discount amongst the item line items, right? So it sees what are items and now code that discount on a weighted average on each line item. Now I could take my integrations up another notch or my efficiency, and I can say anytime that it comes in at a description discount, automatically code it to vendor discount or discounts given in my chart of accounts in QuickBooks. So as you see here, it's already mapped there, and I've already mapped it to a class because I have that it's almost like bank feeds. So the next time this comes in, it's already going to be done for me. I don't have to do a thing. I would just have to approve the system in the system. So the next one we're going to look at really quickly here. This is that Home Depot bill that came in, 68 pages, 63 different bills, and over 3,000 line items. So it did it in probably 67 seconds, something like that. And here's what it's done. It knows exactly where one bill ends, and I'm going to prove that to you right here. This is a one of twoer right here. So this is a 2-page bill, and it's captured every single bit of information from this 2-page bill, including the quantities, the amounts, the whole deal. So if I have the PO here, as we show here, I could have actually set up a rule that says anytime the PO comes in from Caitlin Donald, automatically code it to Caitlin Donald, or I can simply just click on here and code it all the way down. Now, if for some reason something I'm doing is like billable to this customer, I can mark items as billable, and it's going to create those transactions in QuickBooks Online as well. All right, so we've shown you like how it works on where everything is exactly the same, like the Home Depot, it's all Home Depot bills, got it right, pulled out the 63, but look at what it can do for like this floral syndicate, which was the 8 different bills. So we've got the one bill here, that is bill number 1, got it correctly. And I know for a fact, when it goes into some of the legacy systems, it combines these bills in such a strange way that it doesn't even make sense. But here's my first bill. My second bill, it's like the honey badger, doesn't care. It's upside down, it's wrinkled. It looks like it's been on the floor of a truck. It's pulled out that second bill. It'll pull out the third bill here. It gets everything 100% correct. Let's go into this Camera Plus where it was actually handwritten. So now, because we use not OCR, but like a computer vision, and we use large language models under it, we can even read handwriting. And in fact, what we can do is we can say, I've created a rule that says anytime something comes in from Camera Plus, automatically look at the memo field, because I've told my employee, when you go pick up the flowers, tell John at Camera Plus to write the PO number in the memo field. I've created a rule that says anytime this comes in, automatically look at the memo field and create the PO as whatever's written in that memo field. So let's also take a look at how it works now. So with things like, I'm going to go into my accounts payable, and let's talk about like this Rushco bill, because this Rushco bill, if we take a look at it, has payment terms of 10%, 10 days net 30, which means if I pay this bill within 10 days of receipt, I can take a 10% discount on the bill. So if we go in and we take a look, and I'm just going to hit mark all as paid and schedule payments, I'm going to remove from my last one, but it shows any payment term discounts that you're able to take, because we've scanned all that information, we've indexed it, and because we use an intelligent system, it knows what this means, right? So it's not guessing, it knows. If I do it until the 11th or the 14th of this month, I can automatically apply this. If it's before the 11th of this month, I can apply this one and the 14th. And as you see, while I did it, it's changed the due date of all of this different information. The other thing that we can do is require the tax form W-9 before any payments are scheduled, or have it force payment by an admin. So I can go in now and manage my W-9 forms by requesting it from a vendor, where if I request it from a vendor, let's just request Ted and say, hey, I require a W-9. I'm going to email the request. And then if I go into my Gmail, I can go in now and I can say, here's the request from the vendor. Now the vendor can hit add details and they can fill it out themselves. And we pre-populate as much as we can. And I can put in like what my stuff is. I can sign it and submit it. Now I'll get the actual person that requested it will get an email saying to verify it. And now I can go in, review and verify. And now I have a W-9 on file for that client. So very easy to do. And now that vendor can get paid. So what else can we do with all of this data that we're bringing in? Because we're not just bringing in, like I said, 5 line item data. We're bringing in every single thing that you could possibly want for your pre-accounting into an AP system to get it paid. The other thing, because we have unlimited users in the system, we allow you to set up some pretty crazy approval workflows, not only on bills, but on payments as well, because we know in a lot of cases, the person who approves the payment is a completely different than the person that is just doing the bill approval. So now we can set up approvals that look kind of crazy like this. I can say if the total amount is over 0, automatically just send it to the AP department. Anyone in that department that approves it, it goes on to the next. The next thing it does is it goes to Diana Joe because it's over $5,000. And then it goes to her manager sequentially, or we can just have it go to both at the same time. Also, now we can go by class. If the class equals something, if the vendor, if the description, if the PO number, all the way down to customer, if it's a receipt or if it's an expense, we can send them through these crazy approval workflows now that match your client's workflow and not the limitations of the software. So we also know that most C-level people don't want to learn a whole new system. So you can tag them that when it's their turn to approve, they will automatically get a email notification, and it allows them to externally approve it just through their phone if they would like. They can just review the bill, they can comment on it, they can decline or reject it with comments, they can approve it with comments. And now it goes to the next approval process once that happens. So then on our payments, we can do the same thing. If a total amount is over 0, it goes to the staff accountants first, because, or maybe if you're using it for your clients, maybe you want your client to approve any payment that goes out. So you can send it over to your client's staff accountants or your client's whatever to approve it. Then you can send it to the executive finance team if it's over certain amounts. And then we have all of these different filters that we can create these customizations on. Now, everyone always asks, okay, now that I have all of this stuff in in MakersHub, what does it look like when it goes over to QuickBooks Online? So let's take a look at how that looks in QuickBooks Online. Obviously QuickBooks Desktop looks a little bit different, but it sends over the same information. So I'm going to go into my recent transactions, and let's pull up first this Rushco. This Rushco, if you remember, is the one that had the payment terms on it. So we're going to do a few things. We're going to look at what's in here. So we have every single bit of line item. So we have all of that detail that if we had it in different categories and stuff, it could be line itemed out. But we also have our net terms discount, any sales tax that is coded. We can code it to however we want as well. And then we send this little link into QuickBooks Online. Now we can't send the actual document. The API is a little bit too, if we were to send a whole bunch of documents into QuickBooks, with the API would freeze up every single time. So we send you this link that will be good forever, regardless if you're on MakersHub or not, that will show the bill. So anyone that has this link can view this bill. So even if you needed to forward this to somebody, you could take this link and forward it to them. Now, the other thing for regular bills, and then when I show this to you, I'll show you like what other people have been asking us about the Intuit one. So let's go into Belimo. This is the one that actually had inventory. So we'll go through and we'll see what the inventory looked like. And I hope I'm not. We have all of our information that went in. If I had it sending through the actual inventory amounts on here, it would send over the inventory quantities as well. I don't have it set up that way, but I have every single line item that's in here. It could be set up as inventory items and carry over the detail and the quantity if we wanted as well. So one of the things we get asked is like, what's the difference between the bill pay from the new QuickBooks Online? The new QuickBooks Online bill pay pulls up four items. That's it. They don't pull in any or for like dollar amount, the vendor name, and the due date and stuff like that. That's all it pulls over. It doesn't pull over anything that actually is helpful. It really pulls over stuff that you could type in about the same amount of time it takes you to actually autofill from the bill. So those are some of the things. It cannot break pages apart. It's still just like just a handful of items. I don't know, Merv, how much time I have left here.
You've got about 13 minutes.
Okay.
So one of the questions that I was interested in, you mentioned that approvers can get an email and approve it directly on their like iPhone or
Yeah.
et cetera. And when they do that, do they have to actually open an app, or
No, watch.
does
Let me.
the email contain a link? Or
Yeah, let me show you. I'll show you what it looks like through my email, if that's okay.
that's great.
So I'm gonna just approve this. Select an additional approver. Oh, I'm already on there as an approver. Let me. I think Darby. Edwards. Let's see. I'm just gonna put at Edward McRae. Can you look at this and approve? Let's see if it'll let me do it this way. Okay, so let's go back in to our email. Oh, you know what? My at Edward McRae, let me just set it up and I'm going to show you. Okay, since we have a tiny bit of time, I just need to find a user that has my email. I'll use this one here at Darby Crass. Okay. Review, select. Pending. Did I already approve it? But if I can't get it to work because of the environment, I will conceptually explain it to. Oh, here we go. Assigned. So within here, as you see, not only do I get the email, not only do I get the details right here, just in the string of the email, but I can go, you know what? Let me view it. So if you're on your iPhone, whatever, I just hit right here. I'm going to view the record. And I'm like, okay, let's see. This is what it would look like on your iPhone too. Obviously, it's just a tiny bit smaller, but you're reviewing the bill. And then I go back and I'm like, all right, let me approve or reject, right? So I can hit approve and I can say, this looks great, but I'd like at Darby Crash to approve as well. So what I've done here is I've just added that person to the approval chain. So that person, Darby, now is added to the approval chain and will get an email that says, hey, somebody mentioned you, view the record, and you can go back and make a respond to the record and just say, I approve, or I'm not, I'm going to reject it or whatever. So you can add approvers on the fly as you're going here as well.
That's great.
Now, that's why when I'm talking about this, it's about like we have unlimited users for a reason, because in larger, we have a company that's got probably about 75 users on here because they put their expenses through here and all sorts of stuff like that. It's because of this awesome approval workflow now that you can set up and on the fly type workflow. So you could even say at accounting department, can you please take a look at this? And anyone in that department can take a look at it and approve it straight from your comments as well. Now, the other thing, just really quickly here, is there's no need for a clearing account within MakersHub. So what do I mean by that? These line items will come out. We're not going to do one withdrawal of $20,000. We're going to do 4 separate withdrawals right here, or 5 if we want to schedule the 2 glass and mirror separately. So what does that mean? When it comes through your bank account and you're ready to do your bank reconciliation, these things are going to match up exactly to the deposit or the withdrawal that is made. So I have a bill for $4,823.12. The withdrawal from your account is going to be $4,823.12. So it really helps. The other type of AP, those traditional or legacy, you have to have that clearing account because they lump it all out in that big lump sum. Now, I'm not sure if I talked about this on, I think I did, but we have here's where I would force the payment for our W-9 verification. So we have the ability to restrict payment unless there's a W-9 on file. And one of the other biggest things that people have talked to us about, let me clear the filter and redo this. One of the other biggest things that people have talked about is the sync with QuickBooks in their AP. So the sync is not very reliable and it doesn't sync everything, and it gets broken all the time. Well, in our product, if I even make a tiny little, I'm going to go pull up Belimo Air Controls, and I'm just going to say that the phone number is 444-383934. And I'm going to update the vendor. Now, it already posted successfully to QuickBooks. This is for Belimo. I'm going to go over to QuickBooks and I'm going to pull up the vendor Belimo. You guys probably know a better way, but I'm not in this every single day, so I have to do it this way. If I pull up my vendor Belimo, I think it was Belimo Air Controls. Let's just see. And I go into edit. So you see it's already made that change in the phone number. So it's a bi-directional change. So even if I said, you know what, the website is www.makershub.ai, get started, I can now save and update, go back to MakersHub, hit sync from QuickBooks, and see, it already made that change for me as well. So this bi-directional sync is very important to make sure, one, you don't have duplicate vendors in there, to make sure that that doesn't happen. Make sure there's not duplicate bills that are already sitting in QuickBooks Online. And then if I mark something as paid in QuickBooks Online, I also want to be able to mark it as paid straight away in QuickBooks or in MakersHub. And the same goes with desktop as well. So there's all these little back and forths that we do. The API is like solid, and make sure that you're always like have the most accurate data as possible. Now let's go into the partner portal really quickly. I'm going to just change to my partner portal. So you have the ability within here to manage your clients as well. And this is what's really important. So we don't ever want to make money off of something that you're not like we didn't earn, I guess, if you want to call it that. So if you have a client that's on our, let's just say it's on our AP scaling plan, and our AP scaling plan is 160 bills a month. And let's just say you're only doing 99. Well, we're going to allow you to scale down at any time that you want. You don't have to call us. You don't have to do anything. You're going to know how many bills you have. You're going to know, do I need to actually up the plan, down the plan? Maybe the client's got, less than 40 bills now a month. I can just simply go to the pay-as-you-go plan and update that as well. So we give you full control of everything that you do. And also, if unfortunately, sometimes if you need to delete a client, it's as simple as going here, hit cancel, and canceling the subscription. You don't need to call us. We don't hold your clients hostage. We make it really easy for you to do all that stuff. And that's really important because I really get upset at having to find out how to cancel a subscription. It drives me crazy that I got to call somebody, or they bury it so deep that I get distracted in the middle of trying to do it. And I end up like forgetting about it for another month. And now I have another $200 charge on my hands. Now, two other things. And then I just wanted to show you, oh, you know what? I'm going to show you one more thing that's pretty cool. One of the reasons that a lot of our partners never used a product like an AP payment system to pay bills that are that have payment vouchers on them is because you could never get, and I'm not sure why it's not in here. Oh, here we go. You could never, whenever you create a check or that has a payment voucher, you normally need that voucher inside the envelope that you're paying, right? But with MakersHub, what we can do is I'm going to take this IRS payment notification and I'm just going to drop it into my files here. And it's going to scan all this stuff. But the thing that makes it really difficult in most cases is this right here. This little payment voucher, it needs to go along because it's got the taxpayer ID number, it's got the notice number and all that other stuff. So I'm going to show you what we can do in MakersHub. So here's the IRS notification. All right. I am going to just change, just for these purposes here, the invoice number. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to approve it. I already have a rule set up, so it's broken out every single year. If you take a look here, we have all the years. It's been broken out here. I'm going to approve this. Then when I move it over into my accounts payable, what I want to do is say, okay, I need to pay this straight away. So I'm going to go in and I need the voucher and I need to add a supporting document. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go into the invoice. I'm going to scroll down to that voucher right here. And all I'm going to do is take a screenshot of it. So there it is. I'm going to just hover over this supporting document and I'm just going to paste it in by hitting Control V. Now, all I need to do is I can say, oh, this is a payment slip or a payment voucher. And I'm going to just add it. So what does that do now? It allows me to go back to the payment, add this little supporting document, and select what I just did. And so now what I can do is when I approve this for payment, this voucher is included with that payment. It prints out on a separate piece of paper. It's stuffed in the check with the check. If I'm sending something that is direct deposit, it will send in the remittance email, Murph, like you saw in that, hey, please approve, where we saw the line items. You'll see a link to even view this in the remittance email, even for ACH. And then what I can also do is put in, case number LTT 123 and schedule that payment up.
That's great, Ted. We want to thank you for being with us today, and we've got to move on down the line to our next presenter, but we appreciate you being here.
All right. Thank you, everyone. Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.